I built 217 houses in my life. Colonials in Newton, Cape Cods in Plymouth, ranches in Braintree. I remember every single one, every foundation I poured, every wall I raised, every roof I shingled. 217 houses in 45 years. That's my legacy. That's what I was most proud of. And that's also the biggest lie I ever told myself. My name is Thomas Riley. People call me Tom. 74 years old, builder, contractor, owner of Riley Construction for 41 years. Now I'm patient number 247 at St. Anne's Hospice in Quincy, Massachusetts. Prostate cancer. Metastasized to the bone. Doctor said 8 weeks. That was 3 weeks ago. I'm dying. And before I die, I need to tell you something. Something I wish someone had told me when I was 25, when I was 40, when I was 60. Something you probably don't want to hear. I built 217 houses, but I never built a home. It's not that I didn't have a house. I did. A beautiful place in Milton. Built it with my own hands in 1985. 4 bedrooms, 2 stories, backyard facing the woods. My wife Rose lived there for 40 years. My 3 kids grew up there. But me? I just slept there. I didn't live there. There's a difference. You know what the difference is between a house and a home? A house needs bricks, lumber, cement. I had plenty of that. A home needs presence. It needs time. It needs sitting down, looking into the eyes of the people you love and actually being there. I didn't have that. Or I did, but I never gave it. This isn't a sermon. I'm not a preacher. I'm a builder. I speak straight. I speak true, no sugarcoating. This is the confession of a man who got it all wrong, completely wrong, from start to finish. And the price I'm paying it right now, every single day, in this room. I don't want your pity. I want you to be scared of ending up like me, scared enough to change. Because when I look at you, I see myself 30 years ago, busy, hardworking, sacrificing, telling yourself you're doing it for your family, telling yourself there'll be time later. You're lying, just like I was lying. And what I'm about to tell you is going to make you uncomfortable. I started working construction when I was 18. Year was 1969. Just graduated high school in South Boston, no money for college, no connections, nothing but 2 hands. My family was Irish, came over with my grandfather. Dad worked the docks. Mom cleaned houses for rich folks in Beacon Hill. 6 of us crammed into a 2-bedroom apartment. I shared a bed with my 2 brothers until I was 16. I made myself a promise. My kids will never live like this. And I got out. First year, I worked for an Italian contractor in Dorchester, hauling bricks, mixing mortar, doing all the grunt work, $2.75 an hour. But I learned how to lay foundations, read blueprints, manage crews. In 1978, I started my own company, Riley Construction. 30 years later, I had 35 employees, $4 million a year in revenue. The dock workers' kid, now the big shots, were calling me to build their houses. I was proud of that. Still am, even now. But here's what I never told anyone. In 1979, Rose gave birth to Michael, our firstborn. I was building a house in Weymouth, tight deadline. Rose called at 2 in the afternoon, said her water broke. I told her, I'm pouring concrete. I'll get there as soon as I can. I got to the hospital at 11 at night. Michael had been born 4 hours earlier. Rose was lying alone in the delivery room. Her husband was pouring concrete. That was my first day as a father. And I wasn't there. I said, I'm sorry. Work was crazy. Next time I'll be there. Next time was Patrick, 1982. I made it, but had to leave after 2 hours because of a problem at the job site. Next time after that was Katie, 1987. I stayed the whole day. One day. Then I disappeared back into work. Rose never complained. She said, "You're doing it for the family." I know, and I believed it. I really did. I believed that leaving the house at 6 in the morning while everyone was asleep was for the family. I believed that coming home at 9 at night after the kids were in bed was for the family. I believed that working Saturdays while Michael had his little league game was for the family. When Katie was 5, Rose told me, "Today Katie asked me, 'Does Daddy live with us?'" Rose told it like a joke. We both laughed. I can't laugh anymore, because that was the truth from a 5-year-old's mouth. Does Daddy live with us? That question haunts me every night in this hospice room. I built houses for over 200 families. They moved in, decorated, turned the walls I built into homes. Their kids grew up in the rooms I made. But in my own house, I was just a guest. You know, what's the most dangerous thing? When your mistakes get praised by society. I worked like a madman. People said, "Tom Riley, that guy's the hardest worker in Boston." They said it like a compliment. I heard it like a compliment. And I kept going 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. I was proud of that. I was a working man. I was the provider. But let me tell you about Salvatore Benedetto. Electrician, worked with me on job sites for 15 years. Sal worked completely different from me. 7 in the morning, he showed up. 4 in the afternoon, he went home. No overtime on weekends. I used to look down on him. One day, around 1995, I asked him, "Sal, why don't you work more hours? You'd make an extra few grand by the end of the year." Sal looked at me like I was an idiot. He said, "Tom, my son's got a game tonight. I haven't missed one in 12 years. You think a few grand can buy that?" I made 3 times what Sal made. My house was twice as big. I had my own company, had a reputation. And Sal, just an electrician. In 2018, Sal threw a party for his 65th birthday. I went. Small house in Revere, backyard packed with people. All 4 of his kids were there, with their spouses, with their children. 11 grandkids running around everywhere. Laughter, singing, cheering. Sal sat in the middle, youngest grandchild on his lap. 4 kids surrounding him. Maria standing behind, hand on her husband's shoulder. The whole family looked at Sal like he was a king. And my 65th birthday? Rose booked a table at a restaurant. Michael didn't come. Patrick showed up late, left early. I sat in that fancy restaurant and I was alone. I made 3 times what Sal made. But Sal was richer than me. Much richer. And I realized something. I wasn't working for my family. I told myself that. I believed that. But it was a lie. I worked because at the job site, I knew who I was. I was the boss. The crew listened to me. Clients needed me. I had value. But at home, I didn't know how to be a father. I didn't know how to sit still and listen. Work was where I was good. Family was where I was lost. So I hid in work. And I called that hiding hard work. Hard work can be a shield. Hiding cowardice. Hiding the fact that you're afraid to face the things that are harder than making money. Loving is harder than making money. Being present is harder than making money. Listening is harder than making money. I chose the easy path. And I called it hard work. Michael, my oldest, was the most like me. Stubborn, quiet, and the one I hurt the most. From the time he was little, I knew he was smart. His teachers said, "This kid's going places." I thought, he'll take over the company. He'll finish my dream, not his. When Michael was 17, he said he wanted to study computer science. Year was 1996. I didn't even know what that was. I said, "Sitting at a computer all day? That's women's work." Michael didn't argue. He just looked at me. That look of disappointment. He studied computer science anyway. Got a scholarship on his own, worked part-time to pay the rest, never asked me for a dime. Now he's a senior engineer in Seattle, makes more in a year than I did at my peak. He made it. Without me. Then came October 2019. Michael called, said he wanted to come to Boston to introduce his girlfriend. Serious, might get married. Rose cried happy tears. Cooked everything, bought flowers, prepared all week. And me? I was in the middle of my biggest project of the year in Wellesley. Deadline breathing down my neck, short on crew, stressed out of my mind. Michael booked his flight for November 15th. That morning, the inspector found a problem with the electrical system. Had to fix it right away or they'd shut down the job. I called Rose. I'm not going to make it for dinner. Silence. Rose said, Tom, our son flew 6 hours to come home. He wants to introduce the woman he loves to his father. I said, tell Michael I'm sorry. I'll see him this weekend. That night, Rose, Michael, and Jennifer had dinner without me. I got home at 11 at night. Michael had already gone back to the hotel. Next morning, I called Michael, asked him to grab breakfast. He said, no need, Dad. I started explaining. The job site, the inspector, the deadline. Michael cut me off. You've been absent for 40 years, Dad. You didn't come to my games. You didn't come to my college graduation because of a job in Quincy. You always have a reason, and the reason is always more important than me. Then he said, just once, Dad, just once, I wanted to introduce the woman I love. One dinner. And you still chose work. The last thing he said, I'm tired, Dad. I don't want to do this anymore. He hung up. 6 years. He married Jennifer in 2020. I wasn't invited. He has 3 kids. I've never met any of them. 3 grandchildren who don't know I exist. I build houses with my hands, brick by brick, nail by nail, but my relationship with my son, I destroyed with my mouth. One phone call, that Wellesley project, I finished it on time. Client was happy. 2 years later, they sold the house, moved to California. I don't even remember their names, but I remember Michael's face when he said, I'm tired, Dad. I'll remember it until the day I close my eyes. Rose has a piece of paper, small, folded in 4, yellowed with time. She's kept it in her wallet for 45 years, 1980. We'd been married 3 years. One winter night, Rose sat at the kitchen table, scribbling something. What are you writing? A list of places we'll go together. 4 names. Venice. Rose's mother's hometown, where her grandmother was born. County Cork, Ireland, where the Rileys came from. Grand Canyon. Because Rose said I have to see it before I die. Alaska, because Rose wanted to see the Northern Lights. 4 places. Just 4. I said, that's nice. We'll go. When? After the company gets stable? That was 1980. In 1985, Rose asked about Venice. I said, after we finish building our house. In 1990, Rose asked about Ireland. I said, after the kids are a little older. In 1995, Rose asked about the Grand Canyon. I said, after the company has enough people. 2000, 2005, 2010. Rose stopped asking. I retired in 2019. First time in my life, I had time. I said, next year, we'll go to Venice. Rose cried. She opened her wallet, took out that piece of paper, still there. 39 years. 2020, COVID hit. 2021, my back started hurting. 2022, the doctor found the cancer. The paper is still in Rose's wallet. 4 names, 45 years. We never went anywhere. Last week, Rose sat by my bed, took out the paper, looked at it. Why do you still keep it? Because I still hoped. 45 years of hope. And I killed that hope with every later I ever said. Do you have a piece of paper like that, a list of places you want to go? people you want to see? What are you waiting for? You're waiting for work to slow down. It never will. You're waiting to have enough money. You'll never feel like it's enough. You're waiting for the right time. That time doesn't exist. Every time you say later, you're placing a bet. Betting that you'll still be alive, still be healthy, still have the chance. I placed that bet for 45 years. I lost. Rose comes to the hospice every day. 7 in the morning, she's already here. 9 at night, the nurses have to remind her to go home. She brings the things I like. Italian bread from Bova's in the North End. That bakery's been open since 1926. I've been eating their bread since I was an apprentice. Black coffee from Dunkin', not Starbucks. I hate Starbucks, Rose knows. A little radio to listen to the Red Sox games. Even though these days I sleep more than I'm awake. She sits there, reads her book, knits, sometimes holds my hand while I sleep. 71 years old, bad knees, high blood pressure. She still comes every day. Last week, I woke up at 3 in the morning. Rose hadn't gone home. She was sleeping in the chair next to my bed, head tilted to the side, guaranteed to have a sore neck in the morning. I looked at her, looked for a long time, hair all gray now, face full of wrinkles. Hands calloused from 47 years of cooking, cleaning, raising kids, raising grandkids, taking care of me. And I asked myself, what did I ever do to deserve this woman? The answer is nothing. I don't deserve her. Rose met me in 1975. I was 24, she was 20. I was building a house for her uncle in East Boston. Rose brought lemonade out for the crew. I looked at her and I knew. We got married in 1977, small wedding, 50 people at St. Patrick's Church in South Boston. I promised her, I'll give you a good life. I kept that promise, materially. Big house, nice car, kids went to good schools. Rose didn't have to work if she didn't want to. She could stay home, take care of the family. But you know what Rose actually wanted? She wanted me to come home for dinner. I didn't. She wanted to take walks with me on Sunday nights. I was too tired. She wanted me to sit and talk, tell her about my day, hear about hers. I turned on the TV. The things Rose wanted didn't cost a dime. Just time, just presence. And that's what I didn't give. One night, about a week ago, I asked Rose, why are you still here? I don't deserve you. Rose was quiet for a moment. Then she said, I'm not here because you deserve it, Tom. I'm here because I love you. I've loved you since the day you drank that lemonade and spilled it all over your shirt because you were nervous. She laughed. I laughed too. Then I cried. Rose continued, I just wish you'd been home more, so you'd know how much I love you. I had love. Right there, in the house I built, waiting for me every night, and I was too busy to see it. You know what I regret the most? It's not the big occasions, not the graduations or the weddings. Those hurt, but they're not the worst. The worst is the small stuff. One Sunday afternoon in 1994, Patrick was 12, ran into my room. Dad, can you teach me how to throw a ball? I was looking at blueprints. Deadline on Monday. Let me finish this first. Patrick stood there waiting. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then he walked away. I never taught him how to throw. He never asked again. One Saturday night in 1998, Rose put on a nice dress, did her makeup. Want to go see a movie? Everyone says Titanic is really good. I'd just come home after 10 hours at the job site. Not tonight. I'm too tired. Rose took off the dress, wiped off the makeup. We never went to see that movie. One Sunday morning in 2001, Katie was 14. Dad, come try the cookies I made. I was reading the newspaper. Leave them there. I'll come after I'm done. I forgot. Katie put all the cookies away. I never tried them. All small things. 10 minutes to throw a ball, 2 hours to watch a movie, 30 seconds to try a cookie, At the time I thought, it's fine, there'll be other chances. But Patrick never asked a second time. Rose never invited me a second time. Katie never called me a second time. They learned. Learned that Dad was always busy, learned not to ask anymore so they wouldn't be disappointed. Now I'm lying here, and I want all those moments back. I'd trade every house I ever built for one afternoon teaching Patrick how to throw. I'd trade everything to go back to that kitchen in 2001, take a bite of that cookie, and say, "It's delicious, sweetheart," but no one's trading. The things I have can't buy the things I need. Life isn't made of big moments. It's made of thousands of small ones. I missed almost all of them. It's 2 a.m. now. The hospice is quiet. Just the sound of the monitor beeping and nurses walking in the hallway. Rose is sleeping in the chair next to my bed. She won't go home. She's afraid I'll go when she's not here. I don't know how many more nights like this I have. Maybe 4 weeks. Maybe 2. Maybe less. But I'm not telling you this so you'll feel sorry for me. I'm telling you because I see you. What are you doing right now? Where is the person you love? In the next room? Or right next to you, but you're not looking at them because you're looking at this screen? When was the last time you really looked at them? Looked them in the eyes, said, "I love you," and actually meant it. What are you waiting for? I asked Katie to call Michael. Tell him Dad's in hospice. Tell him Dad wants to see him. Tell him Dad's sorry. I don't know if Michael will come. 6 years is a long time, but I have to try, because that's the only thing I can still do. And you? You have more than I do. That person you haven't talked to in a long time, call them. Right now, that place you've been wanting to go, book the ticket, don't wait for the right time. The person you love, go home early today, skip the deadline, sit down, look at them, and actually be there. I built 217 houses. Not one of them followed me into this room. Not one client came to visit. Not one job site is holding my hand at 2 a.m. Just Rose. Just the memories of the children. I wasn't there for enough. And one phone call I don't know will be answered. I'm almost out of time. But you're not. Don't build houses for everyone else and forget to build a home for yourself. Don't say later. Don't miss the small moments. How much time do you have left? No one knows. But you have right now. Use it.